earliest memory at Johnson Lumber was being 7 years old, selling Christmas trees in the parking lot. And, that's where you got your Christmas trees in the 80s. Fake trees were not a big thing yet, so everybody was still buying real trees. Our guys would stay late and sell Christmas trees to the community, probably till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It wasn't like introduction to this is your future or anything. It was more about father and son time, being able to do something together around the holidays. I officially started working for Johnson Lumber when I was 17 at our hardware desk. I was always a better hands-on learner. You can't do as much as a 17-year-old at a lumber company because you can't drive forklifts. Your job was basically to interact with customers. In my early 20s, I went to get some hands-on experience and worked for a builder for a couple years and really learned the industry. You start out in that industry as a laborer. You're the guy that brings the material up to whatever. You're the cut guy. We're putting roof joists up or doing walls. So I really learned a lot about how to actually build things and what those materials were used for versus just selling stuff but not really knowing what the product was. And I think that's where I got my first taste of being like, okay, it's okay to be in a role and learn from other people. You don't have to be the boisterous and loud person in the room that's always trying to lead. Sledgehammers are fun the first 3 swings, then after that it's work and it's tiresome. When I came back to Johnson Lumber, I worked in our sales department, known as what's called outside sales coordinator. In 2016, I moved from the blue-collar side of the business to the white-collar side as the marketing manager. One of my main goals in marketing was to tell people that we are open to anybody. It's always traditionally been a trade business. A lot of the customers here have been coming here since before I was born. My dad came here to buy stuff. My grandfather came here. It's very family-oriented like that. In 2019, I took over the role as vice president of Johnson Lumber. To me, good leadership would be having the ability to make decisions right or wrong. You're not going to do everything right all the time, but you still have to make the decision. It's a lot of responsibility to have, and that's the weight of the job. Our approach as a company is always, it's been a family business for over 100 years. We've always tried to emphasize the family side of it and say, just because you're a customer doesn't mean you're not part of the family. And that's kind of what I think is added to our success is vendors, customers alike genuinely care about the people that work here and vice versa. So I think that's always been the goal of the company is to be a company that's available to the community, but also is a part of the community. How do you plan to make a 100-year run as a company? You don't. That's a tough goal. I did not start this company. I've never started a company, but I can imagine that if you're starting a company and your goal is to run for 100 years, that's going to be a tall task. I try to set goals for myself that are 1, 2, maybe 5 years, but there's a lot of things that depend on that. The economy's changing. It's up and down, it's up and down. You kind of have to plan on more of take it a step at a time. If we can get through the next 2 years doing this, we're going to be in really good shape. If everything hits very well, you move those posts again, you can go bigger. So that's kind of my thought process in terms of goals for the future. Do I hope and pray that we get to 200 years? Sure do. Sometimes in my current role, you have to be the leader. You have to make decisions. But that doesn't mean I can't listen either. That doesn't mean that other opinions aren't valid and other experiences aren't worth listening to.